Hey everybody, it's Snoo. Welcome to another video. Ever since coming onto the scene, playing the game the way I do, high-end magic finding, divination card farming, juicing up maps, high-budget builds, I've noticed that there has been an age-old debate that's happened over what is the best build or what is the strongest skill gem. And for the longest time that I'm aware, at least in my last 3 or 4 years playing the game, Tornado Shot has been at the very top, king of the mountain in that respect. But this league, 3.24, it got nerfed severely. Now, as I understand it, it's been nerfed in the past many times, but it still remained, in most people's eyes, perhaps the strongest, most well-balanced in terms of power, capable of doing high single target damage, capable of incredible clear, maybe not the absolute best at any one specific thing, but just an extraordinary skill gem at the highest level that can take on a lot of magic find gear, reducing the power of the build and still perform really high levels. There have been some other skill gems that have come into the fold a little bit, things like Kinetic Blast, maybe Lightning Arrow. This league, it looks like Lightning Arrow has taken over that position because of the nerf in attack rate, as well as secondary projectiles, which play a huge role in both the single target and clear DPS. Well, today I want to give you a showcase, a kind of compare and contrast over. Can't do Lightning Arrow, in my case it's going to be Ice Shot, which is going to be pretty much the same thing in terms of its clear capacity. Comparing Ice Shot to Tornado Shot, both on around 8 mirror budget. So a lot of people assume that Tornado Shot would be completely out of the conversation early on budget, and I think that's probably right. But what about at the super end game? Because there were a lot of people thinking maybe multi-mirror tier Tornado Shot would be able to compete with everything else out there at that high-end budget. So with that said, I'm going to give you a 2-map showcase. We're going to showcase something on the both ends of the spectrum, basically. A kind of Alk and Go style super quick blasting that's going to be back to basics. Just a straight up back to basics mysterious barrel farm. And then juxtapose that with the Sanctuary ultra high juice shaper Allflame Curation divination farm, slamming as many mechanics onto the maps as possible. I will have these 2 different strats linked in the description, but this is just a follow-up video, more or less, to the last video of the 6 best farms that I felt existed in this farm. And these are 2 of them, 2 on the complete opposite ends of the spectrum. Okay, so right now on the screen I have my Ice Shot build clearing the exact same type of map I'm about to show you on Tornado Shot. This is a back to basics, very simple map. There's not that many monsters on screen. I'm just trying to blast through the map as fast as possible. The character's moving at a certain amount of speed, clearing at a certain degree of efficiency, and I just put this on the screen right now so you can kind of see the ramp up happen in real time. You can see the character clearing the monsters that are on the screen, and this is just going to make it as fresh as possible in your mind. Kind of comparing where Tornado Shot is. Because again, the conventional wisdom right now is that what you're seeing on the screen here is probably better than what you're about to see. So, let's find out together. All right, so I have the map in now. I'm just going to press go, and let's see how it does. All right, so this is Tornado Shot doing its thing. This is the exact same loot filter that was used. I mean, it's not going to mean much. I just kind of want you to look at the clear. Oh, that's nice to see. And now you can see the ramp up. I definitely feel like the ramp up is more meaningful here. The attack rate is certainly a little bit slower initially. Wearing these gloves right here, Soul Ascension, seems to be a pretty big deal in terms of the ability to clear. But yeah, you be the judge. Do you think this is better or worse than Ice Shot was doing? Again, this is almost like basically identical build. Very few changes were done to the build to make it function at about the same level of efficiency, as best as I could anyway. Trying to be as apples to apples as I can. And I don't know, I mean, I personally feel like it's doing about the same. It definitely feels like a little bit cleaner kill. To be fair, Lightning Arrow would feel slightly cleaner than Ice Shot in terms of clear capacity. Sacrificing a little bit of, quality of life in terms of freeze for slightly better clear, but overall it's going to be about the same. So there you go. Okay, I guess I'll go try to do the boss here. I mean, I've a lot of headhunter buffs. Yeah, just for fun. I mean, a little bit of added content. We'll go ahead and clear the boss. Okay, that felt a little bit slower than what it probably would with Ice Shot with 63 headhunter buffs. Alright, so that was just a simple back to basics farm example on one end of the spectrum. Now we have on the complete opposite end of the spectrum a Super Juice Sanctuary map. This is definitely antagonist mod role. Additional rares, going to get tons of headhunter buffs. It's going to ramp up fairly quickly, but this is Ice Shot right here in this map. You can see the map modifiers on the screen. I do have the inverse elemental damage hit thing, so monsters having 74 elemental resistances is not going to mean all that much in this case in terms of damage overall clear. So there, it's already ramped up to what, 41 headhunter buffs, and you can kind of see the build taking off pretty well. It looks like everything just dying extremely quickly on the screen. That makes sense because the more monsters there are, the juicier the map is, the more headhunter buffs you get, the better the clear is. Overall, things having a chance to AoE, chain, or pierce, and all that stuff is with Nimbus Ring. And then I am on my way to rushing the boss and just really a force to be reckoned with at this point. Alright, so let's compare that to Tornado Shot in the same exact setting. Alright, so here we go. Tornado Shot, ready to go. I got the Shaper Allflames in like usual, putting the map in. Now let's see what this looks like. This is probably the comparison people really want to see. Okay, so again, this strat involves, you can see Tornado Shot not firing all that quick in the beginning, but just got to ramp up a little bit and should be a lot better with these Shaper Allflames here. Things should kick into gear real quick. Ooh, 7 years bad luck. Now there are, you know, a couple of little differences between this build and the Ice Shot build. Obviously, I don't need or want Nimbus Ring here. I have Death Rush in instead. It's gonna, you know, have some different ramifications for clear, but obviously a much cheaper option. But I just tried to make it like a sensible alteration to the build. I'm very curious to see the boss performance here. Let's give it a try. Do I one-shot the boss more or less? Yeah. Not exactly. So 55 headhunter buffs at basically max speed there. It died very fast there at the end. Okay, the task now is to try to unlock some Eldritch Altars. I believe there are Eldritch Altars on this map. Not getting lucky. Ah, there we go, finally. Now, me just playing this right here, you know, it feels pretty good. I gotta say, you know, it feels pretty good. It definitely feels a little smoother on the clear than Ice Shot does. I think that shouldn't be too much surprise. So long as I have the attack rate, I think it really hinges on, can you get the skill gem to attack fast enough? I would have to say that Headhunter buffs in the way of granting additional projectiles are going to be much more meaningful for Tornado Shot as well. One thing I realized I forgot to do is change my loot filter back to the more respectable, stricter amount. Let me go ahead and do that here real quick. That is not what I want to see. There we go. 90 headhunter buffs. Wow, I killed that architect around the corner before I even went around the corner. That's something Ice Shot couldn't do. Okay, and now I'm just doing kind of the mechanics, league mechanics. I think this map is a little easier than the last map. It has Shaper Touch, but doesn't have Cirrus patches on the ground, which is actually easier, believe it or not. So there you go. I guess that pretty well showcases just about everything. I'll do one ritual, and then I think I'll just bug out of here to save time. Where are the rest of the monsters at? Oh, down here. Oops. Alright, so yeah, let's do a ritual. See what this is like. Because, I mean, the rest of the map is going to be basically the same thing you saw with the ice shot build. Basically seen everything I think we're going to see for the sake of, you know, the purpose of this video. So I'm going to pour it out and explain, you know, just a quick little summary of what I changed to make this build. So you're up to speed on the differences between speccing ice shot versus this build. There really wasn't much changed, actually. Okay, so one big thing, the biggest thing, is that Nimbus Ring is actually not good for tornado shot. So I had to sub it out with something. I didn't know what to do with it. I felt like if attack speed is kind of the real crux, and I'm going to be doing juice content in particular, it makes a lot of sense to run Death Rush if I'm trying to somehow compare the power between one or the other. Of course, I would normally probably have a more expensive ring on here, but I'm not really sure what I would take here. I think, to be completely honest with you, I would probably just put another Magic Find ring in, either Collider's Touch for additional resistances and doubling the Ventor, or a Pariah. I think quite often I put a Pariah in here in this case. So that would be kind of a distinct advantage that Tornado Shot would have, because definitely this is clearing better than Ice Shot or Lightning Arrow would without Nimbus. I mean, there's no doubt in my mind that Nimbus is carrying the clear there. Also, switching out from Far Shot to Ricochet. So Tornado Shot benefits better just with Chain than it does with kind of Far Shot. You can do both if you want. In fact, I really should have put Point Blank in here. I think I would have done better, especially single target, if I had Point Blank in here, but you don't have to. The other big thing was I removed 4 points here that gave me the Power Charge on Crit and Culling Strike, and instead anointed my Amulet from the Shadows to get the Power Charge on Crit back. I lost Vengeance Cascade, which is 150% projectile speed on returning projectiles. Don't have returning projectiles because I'm not running Nimbus. Projectile speed is super strong with Tornado Shot, of course, but not getting it. So what that means is I got 4 additional passive points, in which case I put them in here to get some Fizz converted to Cold. Now, Ice Shot, by default, gives me 60% Fizz to Cold, so I'm only getting 40%, which means I'm missing 20% Fizz to Cold, which is in large part nerfing Hatred here, with more Cold and increase damages to Cold. Anything involving increased or more Cold damage is going to be doing less with this setup, which is to say I should be, in this case, using a quiver that has the Cold conversion on here. But of course, a extremely unique double additional arrow quiver is going to be probably even stronger anyway for Tornado Shot. It was one of the, you know, nifty little motivations for me to testing Tornado Shots, because I did get my hands on this quiver earlier in the league. Okay, so I think that's it. I believe that's it, guys. So I know a lot of people tested Tornado Shot versus Lightning Arrow, or, you know, in my case, Ice Shot, already having done so on Standard. And I'm curious to hear what you guys think about it. A lot of people are in the camp, Tornado Shot still good. A lot of people in camp, Tornado Shot no longer good enough. Lightning Arrow is now king of the mountain. But I'm curious to hear what you guys think, especially based on the little display that you got to see here in this video. Hope this was educational for you, and a lot of people in my viewership are high-end Magic Find bow builds, as it were, so I figured this would be a pretty good video to bring out to you, to get that out there, let the public see it, and kind of have a little debate on it. Do you think Tornado Shot still needs more nerfs? Do you think the Nimbus Ring needs nerfs? I don't know. We'll see. But I suspect there's probably not going to be any more nerfs to Tornado Shot coming next league. So what is the plan, guys? What's the plan on the bow build setup? I got my own plans. Probably aren't going to feature either one of those, but more on that at a later date. I'll see you in the next video.